when we win, sometimes it's hard to see the lesson because we're excited, and I don't want to dampen the mood, but we got to understand that first half we really show what we can do. Defense in the second half, we can't come out here and be sloppy, and I'll be the first one to admit I wasn't as focused as I should be. Offense, I know you guys are better than that in the red zone. And I'm not calling anybody out, I'm calling everybody out because we got to be better. We play like that on Monday night against the Eagles, we don't win that game. We know that. Good win, we're going to enjoy it. Let's refocus, you know what I mean? Let's not have to have a loss to get ourselves refocused.
Yes, sir. All right, here you go. Team on three. 1, 2, 3, team!
And with that, we welcome you into Command Center. Julie Donaldson, Logan Paulsen, and Fred Smoot. Look, that is leadership from John Allen. They deserve to celebrate this win. They are above 500 for the first time in over about maybe 4 years or so. But as you hear from them, they're not satisfied, Fred.
First of all, can the congregation give me an amen?
Amen.
Because
Amen.
Nothing like knowing who you really are and that you can do better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so good to have that awareness. It's so good to get a win. You know, we talked about all week how this could have been a trap game for them, and I like how they came out. They did what they had to do. They won the matchups they were supposed to win. But I love the awareness of this team saying we got bigger goals than just beating the Houston Texans. We're trying to make the playoffs. So I love to see that.
And if you do look at the first half compared to the second half, the Texans did find a little bit of life in that second half, and this defense was not okay with that. Plus, a lot of plays left on the field for the offense, but it's a victory and one we need to relive. So here we go. Look, Ron Rivera saying Taylor Heinicke is going to be the starter going forward. Reason being, they won 4 of their last 5. It's winning. It's Taylor's team right now. But it was the defense that came out early. First drive for Houston, Kendall Fuller jumps the route, and that is his first pick 6 of his career.
And he is a preacher's son. Because, hey, excuse me, quarterback, I got a reservation for 6. Hey, this is perfect right here. This is how you make plays.
Yeah, but before the game, Logan, you told people to keep an eye out on one particular matchup.
Their rookie left guard, Kenyon Green, has been struggling a little bit. We're going to talk about why, and I think he's going to struggle even more with John Allen.
Yeah, well, hey, you called that one pretty easy. The rookie's been struggling all season long. John Allen has not been.
Like you said, Julie, the rookie's been struggling a little bit, and we knew John could take advantage of it. Look at the power, look at the move that John throws here. Love to see it. Knew it was going to be a problem. Nice to see him execute it.
Okay, so let's go to the second quarter. Heinicke to Logan Thomas for 17. He had 5 catches, team high 65. Seems to be back and healthy.
I am team Logan Thomas, and he looked like Logan Thomas yesterday, and he made a lot of plays.
Later in the drive, let's get Curtis Samuel on in here. His first rushing touchdown since 2020 when he was with the Commanders, 10 yards. It's 14-0.
Yeah, and how dangerous is he with the football in his hands. Love the movement skills. Fred, I think he should get some more touches. What do you think?
I agree with you.
That's the problem. There's only one ball, only one. But the defense, they take it away a lot of times. That was the story of the first half. They absolutely suffocated Houston to 5 net yards total and no points on the scoreboard.
Have you ever dropped candy on the ground and see ants just go to it and gravitate towards it? That's what this defensive line did yesterday. They agitated David Mills and they got after everybody.
Candy, I like that. Second half, it was more the same. 3rd and goal for Houston. Mills, though, brought down by Montez Sweat. He had 2 sacks on the day. They had to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, not the cleanest rush all the time, but I love how they're working together. He finds the hole. Guys are picking for each other. Love to see it.
That's exactly what he said, working together. Later in the third, it is John Allen again. 5 sacks for the defense.
Mama, there goes that man. All pro year he's having right now.
Joey Sly on point, 3 for 3 on the afternoon, including this 44-yarder, so it's a 23-3 game. And then in the fourth quarter, it's the same score. Mills decides to go deep, but Benjamin St. Juste says, oh, if you try me, this is what happens. To flex it, Derek Forrest says, oh, if the ball's loose, I'm going to get it.
What a play by that man. Just the length, the speed, the agility to stay one-on-one with the much smaller Cooks. Love to see it. And the great interception by Forrest.
Great interception.
He said it's not luck. He knew that Benjamin St. Juste plays the ball and that he'd have his opportunity. He said that is flat out hustle. So it's 23-10 now. Commanders outgained Houston 153-21, guys, on the ground. AG with 18 here.
And flick your wheel on the team, and that's what they're doing with Gibson and Robinson, running it down their throat.
So Commanders comfortably get the win over Houston by the score of 23-10, the final. Taking a look at the numbers, as we said in the first half, Houston was unable to do anything, but the thing that's really glaring is they have one of the best running backs in the league, and they only got 21 yards on the ground. They held him to 146 total, almost the most stifling defense that Coach Rivera's team has ever held.
I think we're the only group right now with 2 defensive tackles with 5+ sacks each. So that's a heck of a deal right now. You know, those guys are playing solid, sound football, and it's a big deal.
And just the defensive performance in the first half in particular, they had -5 net yards. Is that about as well as you've seen these guys play?
Yeah, they're flying around. They're doing a lot of good things, and I think that the biggest thing is they're playing with each other. They understand, working together, what it means. There's a couple things, as I said, though. There's going to be a lot of things we're going to have to work on and correct from that second half, though.
I think it's a case of having a good scheme, having a good week of practice, and guys are winning their one-on-ones today. We're really playing well off each other, feeding off each other, and playing with a lot of energy and high effort today. And I think that really showed in the first half. When I have a good rush, it makes Payne and Sweat's job easier, and vice versa.
Yeah, like John said, it's a race. It's a race to the QB. I mean, when we see one guy get one, man, we get hungry, we get motivated. So it's a lot of motivation out there.
And time for our mission debrief, brought to you by the Washington Times. Okay, so in this game, we're talking about they're still, they could have still played better, but they played well enough that the game was never out of control. Washington basically, from beginning to end, Logan had this one in hand.
Yeah, and I think you love to see that. I think it always felt kind of in grasp. Obviously, there's some things they could have done better. The 3 field goals in the red zone, that's tough. The offensive production for Houston in the second half. But I think you love how the offense felt, right? It felt on rhythm. It felt on schedule. Heinicke did a great job getting the ball to his playmakers, and they ran the football well. And I think that gets you excited, Fred.
Most definitely. The offense, could they did more? Yes, they could have did more. But they are steady, and that's what you love. They're not turning the ball over. Defense thrashed the house. They went into the house of Houston, and they kicked their couch. Yeah. And that's what you want. Special teams was special. Tressway, I believe in the Tressway. And every time they get up there and Joey Sly get up there, I tell them, kick him in the eye, Joey Sly, because that's what he does all the time.
Quarterback Taylor Heinicke told me afterwards that he's trying to play smarter, understanding when he doesn't have anybody to throw to, just throw the ball away as opposed to giving it away, and being in a situation where it can necessarily entirely be picked off. But he also, to your point, he said, look, it's okay if we have to punt because we have Tressway.
Yeah.
We know how he's still going to flip the field on that. But defensively, that is why this team is in control.
Yeah. I mean, they're in control, and I think you see the defensive line, how well they're playing. And it's not just the big 3, right? It's James, it's Casey, it's F.A., it's John Ridgeway, it's Wise. They're all doing a great job in terms of getting in where they fit in, Fred.
Yep.
And you love it because it makes not only that group better, but it makes the back end better.
Well, they're playing as a group, not playing as individuals.
Yes.
Individuals make the Pro Bowls, groups make championships, and that's what they're doing. It's every game we look, you got Defro making plays, you got St. Juice making plays, you got Jamin Davis making plays. All 3 levels are playing together, and for the first time in a long time, the rush and the back end are complimenting each other to the T. I stole the words out of your mouth.
Took it right out of my mouth. I'm really glad you brought that up because that's exactly what you see. You see a group not only in the defensive line, but it matriculates down to every facet of the defense, gets you really excited for what they can be.
Well, you heard Derek Forrest saying, look, I got 4 lines in front hunting. And when they are hunting, you're going to have your opportunities. But that's something that we've been asking from this defense for a while is make sure you're communicating with each other. And it took a little bit to kind of get that and for them to grow as young players as well, which is apparently the plan that head coach Ron Rivera and defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio had all along. It just took us a while to totally get in. But offensively, look, because the defense is playing like they are, even head coach Ron Rivera said Taylor doesn't have to play all that great, which is a testament to the defense, but he's playing well enough. And look, we talk about how there's one ball. Logan Thomas really was back and adding to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, so many things to unpack there. Obviously, Taylor Heinicke, I think he understands how he fits in. Let the defense win the game for you, right?
I don't have to be Superman.
Elevate the offensive line, get the ball to your playmakers, and one of the playmakers was Logan Thomas. I mean, you said it in the highlight, Fred. He just looked like himself, catching the ball with soft hands, winning one-on-one matchups. We knew we were going to see a lot of man from Houston, and he just executed at a really high level. So I think it's great to get that piece back, but he's just one piece. Jahan caught a ball. Terry caught balls, right? Curtis was productive.
We begging for Curtis. More Curtis. Give me more Curtis, please.
Yeah.
And can we have to mention, the way that they're running the ball as well, it has been better since Brian Robinson has been back in the lineup. But those tight ends, they're really kind of helping out the offensive line and trying to accommodate for something that's been a little bit of a weakness. And Logan Thomas was a big part of that, going out there and not being afraid to block as well.
Yeah,
you get Jordans, you get Jordans, you get Jordans.
That is it, because that's what Taylor Heinicke said. Last week, he gave Jordans to the offensive line. This week, he's giving Jordans to the tight ends.
Awesome.
I just want to know when it's our turn.
I'm waiting. I want to jaywalk.
With enough wins, maybe it will be. Some breaking news to announce that could mean an addition back to the defensive line, as head coach Ron Rivera said that Chase Young will officially be activated off of the reserve physically unable to perform list. He will rejoin the 53-man roster. Of course, they will monitor how Chase does at practice to determine whether or not he will actually play against the Falcons. And we'll have much more on this story in Wednesday's episode of Command Center. Well, we have much more coming up on this show, including the Players W. Who gets the dub chain this week? Our guys have some decisions to make. But first, we're taking a trip inside the film room where Logan and Fred are going to take us into some of the nuances in Scott Turner's offense. You're going to learn something, so keep it here.
Goal from the 10. Samuel gets an end-around call. Couple blockers. Hits the 5. Cuts back to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington! A nifty run from Samuel from 10 yards out.
Curtis Samuel loves to dance in the end zone. They can do a little bit of a jig here.
And welcome back into Command Center. Yes, Curtis Samuel with a big touchdown, rushing one, his first since 2020 on the day. It was the only touchdown that they had on offense. And that's because, well, for one thing, they have a lot of different options to be able to go to. Now, one of the ways that they're able to get into the end zone is using the rush with a lot of their receiving weapons. So for more on how Scott Turner is employing this offense, it is time to go inside the film room. This is presented by Amino. It pays to be healthy.
Julie, thanks so much. Fred, it's always fun to be in here talking about the film after a win.
Always.
And especially when you see kind of the plan, how the plan unfolds.
Yep.
And I love what Scott did. I love what Taylor did. And I love how they're executing. So let's take a look at a couple of these plays real quick.
All right.
So the first one is this deep dig route to Terry. They're going to run a cat concept up here, corner, clear, and the ball is designed to go to Terry if he doesn't like to come back up here.
Yep.
And what I really think is cool about this is they're going to pull the center. You have a little pull here, right? And watch how all these linebackers say, "Oh, I got to be up here, sniffing around the run game." Makes a really nice big window in the back here where Terry can take advantage. And so that's the scheme, right?
That's the scheme.
Scheme did a great job, but also you need players to execute the scheme, right, Fred?
You still need the players.
Yes, right. So let's take a look at what's going on here, right? Drive it up. Love the route by Terry, working the inside shoulder. It's
the stem here.
Yeah.
It's the stem to lean inside, but not all the way inside. Still need to make room. I'm not trying to run into him.
Yes, I love that you point that out, right? And I think Terry does an excellent job attacking the inside. And then what does he do? He slows down.
Yes, because I'm not running there.
Don't run into that safety,
Don't
Fred,
run in there.
right?
People get hurt in there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I love the feel there because that's something that they're working out. And people talk about chemistry, and that's where the chemistry shows up, right? And again, to have this kind of level of relationship with the quarterback and Terry, I think is excellent. Terry's worked with this quarterback more than any other quarterback. And you said something to me, Fred, about the drop here.
Yes.
And I wanted you to talk about that a little bit. Let me just give a little highlight here. Boom. Yeah. Right there. What about the drop?
It's all about the drop. Usually when guys are in shotgun, they don't take drops.
Right.
You're already 5 yards back.
Right.
Taylor, knowing that he's not the tallest quarterback in the league, look at these two extra steps right here.
Right.
This frees it up. So now he's not in that cocoon right here. He's outside of it. And if you look at his completion rate when he gets this depth in his drop, I promise you it's over 70%.
Yeah, and again, love the space, love the completion, but the action is one thing that really gets that done. Let's take a look at the end zone. His eyes are also excellent. We already talked about how you pull the center here. It really gets these linebackers to say, hey, I got to be up here in this run, creates a bigger void. But Taylor's eyes here are excellent, right?
Yeah.
Because look, he starts off to the left here. He's looking right here. So we didn't even talk about the safety, but the safety opens that way. Let's get back here. I can't
I
not show it.
I
cannot show it, Fred.
Show the Jedi mind tricks
look
that he
at this
plays.
guy. Look at this guy. Watch the safety open away from Terry so that he can't get back to the ball.
Well, yes,
right?
yes.
And that's really tough. So love to see that. Love to see this execution. The play design is outstanding. And that was just one play. Down in and down out. Scott did an excellent job of this all day.
And the execution comes from the players.
Yes.
This is the key. This is called a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a job relationship. This is a relationship. I trust that you're going to be there because he's throwing his ball blind.
Yes. And so we also knew that they like to play a lot about man-to-man on first down, right? To stop the run. Watch this safety. Watch how he matches John Bates on the motion here. John Bates is going to work here. The safety follows him up. The safety, Fred, to me, is supposed to fit the run.
Yes, he is.
He's supposed to fit the run right here.
Yep.
But watch what he does when Bates goes back across the formation. Bates is going to go back over here to block the end. And watch how the safety has to follow him. Watch him go. Ready, here we go. Ready, set, go.
Got to go get my man. Got to go get my work.
Safety's going with him, right?
Yep.
And then the thing that I love here is great job by Turner getting the block here. But the linebacker looks like he's trying to fit this run on the inside shoulder here so that he's fitting it to the safety here. but there's nobody there, and Gibson's able to take advantage of it.
And this call of play being drawn up the right way. We're going to attack this safety. We're not going to attack him with a blocker.
Yeah.
We're going to attack him with his job responsibility. We're
With
going
the
to use it
action.
against it.
With the action. I love that, Fred. Great job. And again, we knew they like to play a lot of cover 2 in passing situations. They're in a cover 2 here. I love that Washington's in a cover 2 beater, right? Because they're trying to put this player in a bind, and they're doing an excellent job of that. But obviously, we mentioned Logan Thomas, how effective he's been finding this void. But Scott Turner, in my opinion, creates this void.
He did. And you got to realize this play is on our own hash.
Yeah.
Look at this. The field is cut in half right now.
Yeah.
Now you move Logan right here. Now you bring it tighter, and that allows him to get in the face of this corner. And that would open up the window in the back.
I love that you bring up the back too, Fred, because I think this is a little savvy move here by Gibson or by Turner. Because look how wide Gibson is, man.
Yeah.
He's saying, I got to show up. I got to get
I'm outside of the tackle.
I got to get in this corner's vision because I'm trying to open that window for Thomas because we don't want a 5-yard gain.
No.
We want a 15-yard gain, right?
Yes. So I have to get his attention. And if I don't get his attention, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't work, right? So I love to see when these little nuances, these little game plan subtleties come together and you get good offensive production. And the offense is just getting better and better each week. And it gets me excited, Fred, because they're starting to match the defense.
You are a mad scientist.
The Commanders are coming back to FedEx Field this Sunday. It's time for you to get your tickets. Join us pregame at 11:45 a.m. on the concourse at Section 132 for the unveiling of the Sean Taylor Memorial Installation. Then head over to commanders.com/tickets to get your tickets today. Now don't go away. When we come back, we are taking another look back at the win in Houston and handing out some hardware. It's the Players' Dub, and it's happening next. And let's take another look at Washington cruising past Houston on Sunday. The defense setting the tone early. It was Kendall Fuller with a pick 6 on the Texans' first drive to put the Commanders up 7-0. What a way to set the tone. His first pick 6 in his career. He said it's good to finally be able to get into the end zone and score. Now it's the same score in the second. Curtis Samuel takes the handoff, weaves his way on in. It is a 14-0 game, his first rushing touchdown since 2020 with Carolina. But it really was the D-line that was dominant all game long with 5 sacks, 2 of them from John Allen, including this one right here. The D-line, they came to play, and they came to play together. Washington wins 23-10, and afterward, London Fletcher, and I caught up with starting quarterback Taylor Heinicke. Feeling good?
Feeling great.
Okay, 4-1, and because 4-1, head coach Ron Rivera has already gone and said, moving forward, you are the quarterback. What does that say to you and the way that you're leading this team?
It means a lot. Again, it's a dream I've had as a kid to be starting quarterback in the NFL. So, whenever you get named that position, it's very special to me. All the hard work that I've put in throughout the years, for it to come full circle and to be doing this right now, it's very special. So hopefully we just keep this thing rolling.
We know you talk about how you play, and guys will say as if this is maybe your last time ever being on the field. Guys seem to really kind of rally around that and the energy. But when the media's not around, when people are around, what is that with you and your teammates that has this kind of connection and something that maybe we can't entirely explain?
Yeah, throughout the years, I've kind of learned that, football is not going to be there forever, but the relationships that you make are. And so, when you guys aren't around and we're not practicing, we have a little bit of time off and during the day, I make it a point to go hang out with all the guys in the locker room, whether it's linebackers, DBs, defensive line, doesn't matter. Developing those relationships, I feel, gets everyone closer together and they want to fight harder for each other. So doing that, and then, at lunch, eating lunch with people that you don't normally eat with, I think that goes a long way. And, I'm just happy for the guys. They're working really hard right now.
So here's a look at the top performers from Sunday. Curtis Samuel, now one of 4 wide receivers in the Super Bowl era with 600-plus rushing yards, 6 or more rushing touchdowns, over 2,500 receiving yards with 15-plus receiving touchdowns in a career. You get all that? The other 3 to do this were Jerry Rice, Tyreek Hill, and Eric Metcalf. Antonio Gibson passed 800 receiving yards, making him now one of 7 running backs in franchise history to do so within their first 3 seasons, and Montez Sweat had his second multi-sack game of the season and his 4th of his career, making it the first time Sweat recorded 2 or more multi-sack games in a single season. Okay, so those are the top performers from the game. It means we need to hand out some player dubs, and for that we're bringing back in Logan and Fred. Fred's got it now, but Logan, you got to be wearing that by the end of this too.
I think that's fair. So my first dub is going to go to our guy Terry McLaurin. There's something about Terry, the way he plays the game, the third down conversions, the big play to kind of get him started with that deep dig. I just love the consistency with which he's been playing. So he's my player of the game. He gets my dub.
He gets your dub, but he is a solo artist. I like a whole group of guys. The Fat Boys are back. Hey, Trey Turner, Leno, these guys move these guys. They the reason that Terry got to catch them passes. They the reason that Gibson got to run through the A gap and the B gap. They are the reason for the season.
And it feels like they're just getting more cohesive as things go on, right? They're just getting better chemistry.
Better and better.
You mentioned the running backs, but these guys deserve a ton of credit for their success. For me, the other guys, the defensive backs, man.
Let me show some love.
I know. I got to show some love. You're here, and I just did this because you're here, right? So, again, 2 turnovers, but again, Bobby McCain fitting on a fullback, right? Playing that nickel spot, being physical in the run. Cam Crow with the tackle in the red zone. Love the way these guys are playing. They're doing the little things at a high level, and that makes me excited because I'm not about the picks. I love the picks. I'm about the tackling, the physicality, and doing your job. They're doing that at a high level.
I'm shocked that you picked a group, and you picked a special group with the DB. But I'm back in a group myself. Listen,
this is the easy one, Fred.
They are the fighting Dothraki. Like when these guys get after you, you are in trouble. I couldn't just get the Sweat. I couldn't just get the John Allen. I couldn't just get the Pain, the House of Pain. All I can say is this: these guys are changing the game.
Yes.
Best defensive front in the NFL.
It's got to be, right? And it's not even these guys. It's everybody's playing well, and it matriculates throughout the defense. Julie, if you had to give out a dub, who would it be to, you think?
Well, for one thing, you guys didn't give one to any one particular player. You gave it to groups, which is what I'm absolutely loving in this, is because it is a team effort, right? It's not about the individual. It's about the team playing together. But I'm going to give it to Logan, just because, Fred, you need to share that dub.
Oh, give it to me. I think it meant Logan Thomas, man. Led the team in receptions,
we got
Julie.
too many Logans in
Yeah,
here.
seriously, I'll take that next time.
I want to see Logan Paulsen wearing the chain.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Come on, come on.
It fits my swagger.
Because it's so out of character for you. There you go. Thank you very much.
Jack Harlow.
Thank you. See, that's called teamwork, folks, and that's called a great show.